Are you suffering from a modern day lion? Because I am right now. I have the flu. And when I have a virus or infection, I struggle with assimilating new information. And so I was getting bored though, because this is day like 4. And I don't like doing nothing. So I decided to record this video. I'm Meredith. I'm a dietitian. I'm probably not your dietitian. So talk with your own provider before you make changes to your diet, your supplements, your medications, or your lifestyle. This is a hypothesis. Um, it makes sense. I think this is happening to a lot of people in our world right now. I think we're inundated with modern day lions. I know that for me, the virus that should not be named, which I think everybody's naming it now. So COVID screwed me up, like literally brought me down. I made the mistake of when I had COVID, I was trying to keep my lungs open and I went and exercised next to my indoor planter and lo and behold, got aspergillosis. And I fought it off pretty good on my own. I didn't figure out that I really had it until 3 years after I contracted it. But the fight, the actual fight of fungus, which is modern day lion, induces the HIF-1alpha pathway. And it was that moment in time, as well as obviously like spike protein induces the HIF-1alpha pathway. It does it through nicotine receptors. And so those two things resulted in me activating in my body this HIF-1alpha pathway. And then I started to increase the enzyme CDO, cysteine dioxygenase. And what that does is it takes cysteine and it will actually make more sulfite in your body. And when you're fighting an infection, white blood cells will use sulfite. They actually use PAPs, which is a cofactor for sulfation, but they will use PAPs to make sulfite. So already, just the immune response produces more sulfite in the body, but also the hypoxia pathway that's used to fight fungal infections and is induced by spike protein will increase CDO, and then that leads to sulfite. Now, the end game enzyme, sulfite oxidase, should be working well and converting sulfite into sulfate. And sulfate is beautiful. It provides, you need sulfate for myelin production. You need it for phase 2 liver detox. What else do you need it for? Collagen. Like there's a lot of things that sulfate does in your body. So you need that enzyme to be healthy and working well. And I think that what many of us are experiencing is sulfite oxidase burnout. The end game enzyme is not working well. And once you develop sulfite toxicity, I think that you end up in a vicious cycle. I don't want to say a trap, but it's like a paradox. Like you cannot seem to get out of it. And I think that's some of what's going on with people who are struggling with their health long term after getting ill. And so you can watch my previous video on sulfite oxidase, the endgame enzyme, to learn more about that trap or the paradox that I think is happening, where we kind of get stuck in this vicious cycle of not metabolizing sulfite, which leads to the inability to make molybdenum cofactor. So if you do not metabolize sulfite to sulfate, then you could do a couple of things with it. One is your increased levels of SSC or S-sulfocysteine, which is like a glutamate type analog, will overactivate your NMDA receptors. And so everything in this top part of this chart above this man that's kind of in the darker pinkish color, those are all the things that could potentially happen because of excessive amounts of S-sulfocysteine. And then everything on the bottom down here is what I think actually is caused by free sulfite and how it damages your health. So I will link in the description to a blog that has this picture in it. And the blog is about benzodiazepines, because the thing that I was recommended to take because of my symptoms were high blood pressure, which was thought to be anxiety, I was having migraines. I was having insomnia, anxiety, impending doom, derealization. I was having, let's see, massive headaches. So the two things that I was recommended to take by my doctor, one was amitriptyline, which actually helps to slow down NMDA receptors. And then also I was recommended to take a benzodiazepine for sleep because I literally got to the point where I was only sleeping 2 hours a day. And I actually didn't feel like I was tired, but I felt like I could just go without caffeine. I was wired beyond belief. Um, I wasn't pleasant either. So I was wired and just like just a little bit irritable. So that blog is it's actually like a testimony to the fact that I think that we can be in this pathway and then be diagnosed with personality disorders or anxiety. And in reality, it's a modern day lion that's attacking us. So I'm not going to go over every single thing that's in this slide today because again, I currently am like fluing it up. I you know what though, like I should have known. Okay, this is just a random funny thing. Not really. See, this is why I probably shouldn't go everything because whenever I'm not feeling well, I do random things. So I should have known that I was getting like something like the flu or something because Thursday I made ravioli from scratch. Like the last time that I made ravioli from scratch, I had COVID. So now I know if I'm being attacked by a modern day lion, it makes me want to make Italian food, specifically ravioli. All right, so I hope that explains kind of basically about the modern day lions. If you're suffering from a modern day lion and you're experiencing any of the symptoms over here on the right side of this diagram, and you're being told that you just need anti-anxiety medicine, um, or you're told that, oh, you're just getting old, so your blood pressure's going up, stuff like that. If you are experiencing these weird changes in your life and you're like, no, I was fine until this modern day lion attacked me, you're not alone. And I think there's a way out of this. And so you don't have to settle for just having a psychological diagnosis. You can find the lion and you can support the sulfite oxidase pathway and you can feel better. Blessings.